Oh, we are the greatest sports has to offer. Michael Jordan ain't my goal. Oh, that's LeBron James. Clap his fingers, and all of a sudden we have balance in the league now.
Oh my goodness!
Come on, man. Knock it off. Knock it off.
Of course, I need to see my Kings come out on top.
You can't be serious.
It's too strong.
Oh, that man hungry. Oh, he is hungry, man. Kiss the baby. You know what? I'm gonna keep my camera off for a second because the topic of today's conversation and what I'm about to show y'all is all we need to know. That's all we need to know, Steve-O. That's all we need to know.
Mhm.
By the way, welcome to the show, Steve-O. I'm glad that you're back today. Welcome back to the show, Mr. $18,000 Kid.
Yeah, what's up? What's up? Now, show yourself.
No, hey, listen, calm down. All right, what I'm about to show you is everything you need to know about today's segment. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Dun, 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 dun.
Oh my goodness.
Who would have thought we would have been here? Yes, for all of you who are not watching the actual video, we're here to discuss March Madness. And when you're discussing March Madness, you start with the teams that are not supposed to be as far along as they are. And since my team happens to be one of those teams, we're talking about the Carolina Tar Heels. That's how we're going to start this show off with. Welcome back to the show, guys, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Marcus Bryant himself. But none of that matters when your boys are Sweet 16 bound.
Yes, they are.
It is music to my ears because everyone who knows me knows I'm a fan. I'm a very realistic fan, so I watched the first couple games to start the season under, new Coach Hubert. I'm gonna call him Hubert until he deserves to be called Coach Hubie. Um, I watched those first couple games and I'm looking at this team and I'm like, God damn, man, ain't no way we're gonna pass the second round of the tournament. I felt like we were always gonna get to the tournament, but I was like, there's no way this team's gonna pass the second round. And I just knew in my heart when I saw us once we won the first game, I saw we had to play Baylor in the second matchup. I knew we was just gonna get 20 piece. I just knew we was gonna get 20 piece, but god damn it, did they prove me wrong.
Yeah, see, I did. I had you guys winning. I thought
That's
you guys were. So, March Madness is all about what? Getting hot at the right time.
yes, you're right.
And you guys had lost 2 games in your last, what was it, 14, I believe?
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, you had wins over Duke. You guys did lose to Virginia Tech in the ACC champion, or not championship, but ACC tournament.
Yeah, and then I think in those 12 wins, we beat this also hot team, the Canes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they are. Yeah,
So,
but yeah, you guys steamrolled Marquette first round,
hmm
and then you took that momentum, and you ended up going up 25 to Baylor, and then in the last 10 minutes of that second half, y'all tried your hardest, and I mean your hardest, to lose that game.
well, first
Minnick went out.
he got ejected.
Yeah, and you
Second,
guys didn't know what to do.
second, I I heard the officiating was absolutely horrible. I didn't catch all of the North Carolina Baylor game.
It wasn't
Um,
great, no. I'm
I
not gonna
heard
ever sit.
on all aspects it was bad, like bad, bad.
Yeah, it wasn't good. I'm not gonna sit here and say it was a good officiated game. It was not. I mean, they were definitely favoring Baylor down the stretch, but you guys overcame it.
That's all that matters, baby. God damn it, that's all that matters. And
And y'all got it done
and
behind RJ Davis.
obviously, I don't want to spend too much time on my boys. I mean, let me fix that. I do want to spend a lot of time on them, but I can't spend a lot of time on them. So obviously, anybody who's even halfway interested in Tar Heel basketball, our next matchup will be UCLA who had a
Yep.
strong run last year, and obviously they're back again. So they've already been here. They're an experienced team. Like you said, it's all about being hot at the right time, which we are, and I also believe it's about strong guard play and matchups. And I think we match up
Yep.
absolutely beautifully with UCLA.
I think you do too. Personally, I think y'all will handle them.
I think
Personally,
so as well. I think so as well. All right,
and
so
I'm a little
now
Pac-12 biased, so that's
now
saying something.
let's get away from Tar Heel basketball before I light up that Baylor pack. Um, but yeah, March Madness has been up and down this year. We obviously had some upsets.
Yep.
Really, a couple upsets that have gone pretty far, but for the most part, for the first time in I don't know how long, favorites are covering.
Yeah, a lot of favorites are covering, but
And
guess who
when I
didn't
say,
cover? Was
well,
Kentucky.
yeah. When I say favorites, I'm talking about gambling wise. People, I'm
Yeah.
not necessarily talking about seeding. When it comes to seeding, doesn't mean they're the favorites. Just because they're higher seed does not mean they're the favorites. So when I'm saying favorites, I'm saying based on projected to win. And yeah, they're covering. And yeah, one of the biggest. I've actually even gone as heard to say that or hear that people are saying that Kentucky loss may have been the biggest upset in history.
It's I would say that too, but obviously you got a case for
Virginia.
Virginia losing to USMBC.
Wasn't that was what? Isn't that the first and not the only time a one seed lost to a
Yeah, only
16?
time. The first and only time that's a one seed has ever went down to a 16. But then they
Yeah,
followed it up and won the championship the very
right,
next year.
right. So no one
So
cares. No,
kind of like, yeah, you did it, but at the end of the day, we did what needed to be done.
right,
But yeah,
right.
but St. Peter's, obviously they beat Kentucky, but they also won against Murray State, ended their long win streak. And right
Yes,
now they're in the Sweet 16 holding the longest win streak in the country.
yeah. They're actually coming up in this game as a big game, especially for me because they're in our same bracket. They have a matchup against Purdue.
And they
Uh,
are going to get smoked.
I think so too.
Zach Edey and Travion Williams, they're not going to have answers for. Plain and
Yeah,
simple.
no,
I mean, I said the same thing about them against Sheboy. And obviously, Sheboy did his thing. I'm talking about Oscar Sheboy from Kentucky, obviously.
Kentucky, yeah.
Player of the year, in my
But
opinion.
Kentucky can't shoot the ball.
Yeah, Kentucky couldn't shoot, and Kentucky, the guards just didn't show up. Ty Washington, who's been good all year, was pretty much irrelevant that game.
Right, right. And
So, I mean, when that happens, yeah, Sheboy's going to do his thing. He had 30 and 17, but nobody else helped him.
right.
And when that happens, I mean, it is what it is. But
and I mean, but we have to give that credit to the Peacocks. But at the same time, you know where I'm going with this because I've been screaming this for the last 5 years. Coach Cal is the most overrated college coach in history.
You can say that, yes. You can say that. I'm not going to say that.
Because you love recruiting. Because you just love recruiting. You think 50. You think 80% of coaching is recruiting.
Yes. Did he get out coached? Yes, he did get
By
out
St.
coached.
Peter's.
But at the same time, you don't coach 2 for 10 shooting. At the end of the day, they got to shoot the ball and it has to go in. Some days you are just off. Plain and simple. Ty Washington was 2 for 11, bro, or 2 for 10.
I don't care about no Tata. I don't care about no Tata. No. You sound like you ordering Asian food. All right, I don't care about no Tata. Okay. No. What if that's gonna be your case? Then you telling me he ain't been coaching worth shit for years because he's had all this talent and he only has one ring.
I understand that. Yeah, he has a list.
How many times with all this talent has he even been to the championship?
What was it, 2?
And yes, and he lost to who? Mario Thomas.
Yeah, he did.
Come on, bro. Stop playing with me. Coach Cal is Doc Rivers.
Nah, get out of here.
Whack.
Nah, because you can coach You can coach them the perfect way. I'm not saying he did, because obviously he got out coached. When you're playing against St. Peter's and you're Kentucky, you should definitely win. You should win fairly easily. There's a
Just
reason there was
win.
7. There's a
It's March.
reason.
It's
Yeah,
March
there's a
Madness,
reason
dog.
he's a 17-point favorite going into that game.
Right.
There is. But at the same time, that's why it's called March Madness.
It is.
It's the time the underdogs have the game of their life.
Hey,
And
listen.
that's what St. Peter's did. I mean,
It is.
how
And
many
I'm
how
not.
many people knew where St. Peter's was before this game? Some
Oh,
people
it's no
still
way.
might not know,
Yeah.
but
That's no way.
I mean, it's in Jersey City. But anyway, I didn't know that before they beat Kentucky.
Either, but I love it.
But I mean, at the same time, it's like I'm always going to be a Coach Cal fan. I'm not going to ever say he's overrated. But obviously, when you lose like that to a team like St. Peter's, that's like saying fucking Coach K is overrated. Is Coach K overrated? Because he's lost to teams like that. Obviously, he has more championships, but he's had some bad losses in the tournament as well.
Okay. Well, let me say this. Is Coach K? I say Coach K is overrated just by everything that comes with his name, Coach K. When you hear Coach K, they've put Coach K in the same category as they put Nick Saban.
Yeah.
They've put Coach K in the same category as you put Bear Bryant, and you just can't.
I mean, Coach K
You
holds the
cannot.
record to just about every coaching statistic in college basketball. So
He's
obviously,
also been doing it for twice my age.
yeah, he's been a coach for a long, long time, but he also has a good winning percentage. It's not like he has like a 500 winning percentage and he just has a couple good
That,
years.
that's what I'm saying. I still think Coach K is an exceptional coach, but
It's hard
based
to say
on
he's
what,
overrated when he holds the record to everything.
yeah, and it's hard to say he's overrated when he also has Olympic medals under his belt. Enough NBA players respect him more than they respect their own coaches. Yes, I get that. I understand, but that's what I'm saying. I say he's only overrated because of what we have branded Coach K to be.
That's hard to. I can't go with that because that's like saying LeBron. I mean, obviously
Well,
different thing, but that's like
listen,
saying LeBron is overrated.
listen. No, no, no. We're
Yes.
not going down. No, it's not. We're not going that path because we could totally change the whole podcast over this. We really could, but we're not going to. I ain't gonna let you take me down that rabbit hole with you. With that being said, with that being said, um, this whole March Madness does have a lot of major stories, and since we're on Coach K, this is his last year.
Yep.
This is his last year coaching, and he does have his guys still in the dance. They're also in the Sweet 16, and they are winning games pretty steadily as well.
What do you mean steadily? They're winning. They're not. They should have lost to Michigan State. They were
Bas-
losing down the stretch, and then they
Basketball
came
but
back.
we both know basketball is a game of runs. All they did was
Yeah.
stay in that game, and then just bust it open around when they needed to the most.
Yeah.
So they've winning steadily. I mean, they still won, but that game of what 7-9 points,
Yes.
something around that frame. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, it was a close game, but that's every game should be like that in March Madness. Everybody's going to be tough.
Mm-hmm.
And we all know Coach Izzo's teams are never going to lay down.
No.
And while we're on Coach Izzo, how different would Michigan State be if Armani Bates stayed committed to Michigan State?
Tough to say because Armani Bates had a very, very up and down year at Memphis this year. Very. I mean, there was games he was hurt. There were games he just didn't play or played very minimally.
Mm-hmm.
He comes off the bench now. I mean,
Yep.
he gives them some life because I mean they took it to Gonzaga in the round of 32.
Yes, they did.
And they looked like they were going to win. I mean, they were up 12, I believe, at halftime.
Yeah, 10 or 12. 10 or 12.
And
I want to say 10,
like
41-31.
Yeah, it was 10. But it definitely looked like they were going to, I mean, if they kept doing what they were doing, because they were basically showing Zaga, because Zaga wins with their bigs.
Mm-hmm.
They're basically saying we got bigs too.
Yep. And we can play
And
physical too.
yep, and that's what Jalen Duren was doing. He was owning them. And then obviously Mark Few, a very good coach at adjusting,
Mm-hmm.
made the adjustments needed at half and up the tempo and basically made the bigs non-factor for Memphis. Not a non-factor, but not as much of a factor in the second half.
Yeah, he just wore the bigs down. Memphis is
Yep.
always they've always at least with Coach Penny, they've been a running team. They move, they go up and down the court. They're very athletic and they're very physical. And the second half, Coach Few just said, okay, if that's how you guys want to play, well, we can play that too. Uh, but we have the talent and the chemistry to not only match you but to beat you at the game style that you like to play. And that's what they did. They settled down. They started knocking down shots. They started playing through Timmy, and they got the job done. But yeah, I mean, Armani Bates has been up and down. There were reports that came out that said, he folded under pressure. He just couldn't really control the spotlight, the big lights. Everyone expected so much from him.
Mhm.
That was basically the whole storyline behind that. So he struggled when he was at Memphis, and that was one of my biggest questions because obviously, if he goes to Michigan State with Coach Izzo, 9 times out of 10, Michigan State also has a pretty experienced team. I
Yeah.
don't think maybe the
And
bright lights would have affected him as much.
remember, he's supposed to be a senior in high school right now.
Right.
He reclassified, so he's still really young.
Hmm.
I mean, so it's like you can't really knock him for that, in my
Right.
opinion. I mean, sometimes you're ready, sometimes you're not, and obviously, it looked like at times he wasn't ready for the college game.
Agreed. And yeah, while we're on Memphis, Memphis was a team, like you said, I mean, in general, it wasn't just Amani, it was Memphis. Very
Mhm.
inconsistent, dealing with injuries in and out of the lineup. Once they settled in and started slowly getting healthy towards the end of the year, they started rolling.
It was
And
pretty much after Penny, because remember, Penny had that little outburst to the
yes,
media. Once he did
yes,
that, that's when the season turned around, and then they started winning games.
and they started handling teams. Don't forget they handled Houston. They handled Houston, and they like you said they were giving Gonzaga the business. They basically were a super nine seed. They were a super nine seed. Um, so it was good to see them play. One team that a lot of people say should not have even been in the tournament is now in the Sweet 16.
Yep.
How you feel about Michigan Wolverines?
Obviously, like a lot of people, I had Tennessee beating them. I did have them
I did
getting
too.
to 32, but Tennessee was playing really good as of
Hmm.
late. Again, one of those hot teams coming into the tournament. And then obviously you had Michigan. Michigan surprised a lot of people by not only making it, but they weren't even one of the last teams in.
Right,
So they didn't even have to play that first four game like
and
Indiana.
didn't they have the worst record in the whole tournament?
Yeah, they were
I
not
think
that good.
Michigan. Yeah, I think Michigan and all out of all 64 teams technically has the worst record.
They had 14 losses. I know that.
Yeah, I don't think anyone else had 14.
No, they didn't. But I mean, so I mean, they have the talent. Obviously, I mean, there's a reason they're still in the tournament. I mean, when you got Hunter Dickinson and then you got Eli Brooks. Eli Brooks made that really, really incredible hook shot to basically seal the game.
Yes.
That little running hook
Right.
was just
Bro, that was insane. First of all, I died laughing because I just never seen that shit.
yeah. I mean, you see that very rarely.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah,
So
I mean that
and
play and then Tennessee just couldn't get it going. They kept fighting though, and they just
that's
couldn't.
what good teams are supposed to do.
Yep.
But I think this is showing people that Coach Juwan Howard might be a little better than we all think. He
Yeah.
has not been a loser since he's been over here. He's
Nope.
made runs since he's been over here.
Yep.
I think Coach Howard is slowly solidifying and putting himself into maybe top 10 conversation for best basketball or college basketball coaches in America right now.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good story too, because remember, when they played Wisconsin, that after, yep, exactly, that little scuffle. I mean, people want to say it was a punch, but it was basically just a mush.
That Fab 5 days came out of Coach Howard then.
But yeah, he obviously got suspended. Some people said he should be kicked off. He should be fired for that, which was just, I don't believe that at all. But he did his 5 game suspension, came back for the Big Ten tournament, lost first round after blowing a disgusting lead to Indiana.
Yep.
And then obviously, then they got into the tournament and they've been winning since.
Yeah, and that's just sometimes it's just how it goes. And while we're on the discussion of disgusting and hot teams, we had hot teams that lost in the first round. And I mean scorching hot teams. Virginia Tech, Iowa,
Oh, Iowa was terrible.
and there was a third one I had on the top of my head. I forgot who it was now. But Virginia Tech and Iowa stuck out the most. It might have been Indiana because Indiana just came off that nice run and
Mm-hmm.
the Big Ten conference tournament. Um, they came in scorching hot, lost in the first round. Blew my mind. Absolutely blew my mind. Um, I mean, then you have teams that stayed scorching hot, such as
Yeah, Miami, they gave Auburn the business.
and anybody who follows college basketball knows when it comes to March Madness, you have to have strong guard play.
Yep.
Miami arguably has top 5 guard play in America
Yeah,
because
y'all play 4 guard. Well, I can't say y'all. I mean, I guess it's your second team, right? But
they're like split.
y'all y'all play 4 guards, right?
Yeah, we play 4 guards, and our starters all play like 38 minutes, like insane amount of minutes.
Yeah, I mean they were killing it against Auburn. Like Jabari Smith, Walker Kessler, irrelevant.
Yep.
Irrelevant all game, and those are that's a game that they should dominate inside.
And see, I was torn with this game because I had a bracket that had Miami beating them because of guard play, and I had another bracket of Auburn winning because, like you said, between Jabari Smith and Walker Kessler, the size was just there.
Yeah, I mean I don't understand how. I mean Jabari Smith went 3 for 16. Obviously,
Yeah,
you're not going to win too many games doing that. And then
no,
Kessler had like I forget what he finished with, but I know at halftime he was over 6, 0 points.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like they basically just made him irrelevant. And then obviously KD Johnson and their guards just they couldn't do it.
They couldn't do it, and they couldn't do it for as long. Um, watching the game, I mean, Auburn kind of threw in the towel with about 4.5 minutes left. They just started throwing up threes, but um,
They were playing
you,
desperate.
yeah, right. They went into desperation hero ball. It's just whoever can hit anything at this point, just save us. But if you notice, they looked exhausted. While you was looking at Miami players who, like I said, they play all game, every game. They look like they could play another 10 minutes.
Yep, they're used to it
Yeah,
because
so
the SEC doesn't. You don't have too many teams that run up and down the floor. You have teams that play really good defense.
mm-hmm.
And when you get exhausted like that, you're not going to be able to play very good defense. And that's
Right.
exactly what happened. And Miami was just able to run circles around them.
Yep.
Because I believe they won that game start to finish.
Yep. Never trailed.
Yep. So
Beautiful. Beautiful brand. Beautiful brand. Hey, and for all if there's any Miami college basketball fans watching, um, I was not like one of you guys in the beginning of the year, ready to fire my man Coach L. Y'all was just ready to set the whole office on fire, and now he proving y'all wrong again. Got to keep Coach L, man. He the best thing that happened to Miami basketball in a long time. You keep him until he's ready to call it quits because Miami basketball was never even relevant until he came. So you're welcome. um,
he said, "You're welcome."
you're welcome. So yeah, I mean, and we still have, there's still a lot of blue bloods still in the conversation. A lot of blue bloods knocked out. A lot of blue bloods are still in. Um, based on the way this is going right now, based on these last 16 teams, who is your favorite?
Ooh. So I made only one bracket, and I had Kentucky winning it all. Obviously, that was done after game one.
Yeah, they kissed the baby early. Hey, they
So if you were going to tell me right now I had to pick a new winner,
a new winner with the 16 teams here.
who I would probably go, I would say Arizona.
Okay, Arizona's a very strong team.
Plays very, very fast. They're one of the highest scoring teams. And then on top of that, they're one of the biggest teams.
Yes.
They have three bigs that they just rotate in and out. And obviously Christian Coloco and Benedict Matherin have been the bright spot, the top guys on that team. And
I can get down with that.
I mean, anybody who obviously not everybody watches West Coast basketball. I'm on the West Coast and I watch Pac-12 basketball every night. Every night it's on. And Arizona, obviously down the stretch, I mean, they lost to Colorado, but then they rebounded and won the Pac-12 championship. And obviously, some people think the Pac-12 is terrible, which, I mean, you could say that we're down. I mean, we had UCLA, they're still in. We had Arizona, they're still in. And we had USC, who obviously lost to you guys. They almost won on that Drew Peterson,
Hey,
what's it called? Like a half court heave. I don't know if you saw
hey,
it,
hey.
but it almost banked in, and that would have been crazy. But what's
If life
crazy
was
is
full of halves, we'd all be drunk, my man. I don't care about that.
crazy is the Pac-12. I mean, there's quite a few conferences right now with 2+ teams, but the ACC, a lot of people felt the ACC and the Pac-12 were like the weakest main like big
Yep.
conferences, and we still have two. You guys have three.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to go that far and say the ACC is the best in the conference, or in the country, like some people. Some people say that.
Ain't no
I'm
way
still
you
going
can
to
say.
go.
Ain't no way you can say otherwise, my guy.
No, it just means you guys have good teams. Good teams don't make a conference. Just saying.
I beg to differ. How else does the conference get made?
Okay, so what happens if let's say UCLA and Arizona make the Final Four?
Then they just had hell of a runs.
You
Okay.
don't y'all see, it's not going to be Pac-12. It's just going to be like, man, they had two good teams. Yeah, exactly my point. But I don't know. I say Arizona, but that's because I've watched Arizona probably the most out of the teams remaining. But I do like Purdue. Purdue has,
Purdue is that sneaky team right now,
but I've
man.
also, because obviously I bet a lot on college basketball, so I've been watching these teams all year round. Purdue at times does not look that great.
Purdue.
You can say that about almost
This
every. But
this Purdue team is what reminds me of a lot of pre-Zion RJ Barrett Duke teams look like. They look like a lot of times they would live and die by the three, and they had their bigs, that can kind of do a little bit of everything. But
Mhm.
when the three ball's falling, they're unbeatable. When the three
Yeah,
ball's not falling, they die by it because they're going to continue to keep shooting it to see if they can pick it back up.
I mean,
And
I feel Purdue is going to go as far as Jaden Ivey takes them.
well, and that's the key. There's
Yep.
always that one. When it comes to these 3-point shooting teams, there's always one that can make the big difference. It's just up to the rest of the team.
Well, Jaden Ivey isn't like he's not really known as a 3-point shooter though.
No, that's what I'm saying.
But
All 3-point shooting teams normally have one guy that is just either a slasher to a basket or somebody that can kind of do it all. And Jaden Ivey obviously is a freak athletically.
if you haven't seen Jaden Ivey yet, just think Ja Morant. Literally, think Ja Morant, and that's
Without
what
the
Jaden.
playmaking ability.
He has playmaking ability.
Not like Ja. Not
Well,
like Ja.
I mean, Ja is really really good, but Jaden Ivey will be a top 5 pick in the draft. Just watch.
Agreed. Yeah, okay, agreed.
But I mean, he's great with the ball in his hands, and he can get up above the rim. And
Yeah.
he's an average to he's about an average 3-point shooter. Like he's not the best shooting the ball, but he can make jumpers here and there. But anyway, what makes Purdue so sneaky is their size, dude.
They're
Zach
huge.
Zach
They're
Edey and
huge,
Travion,
bro.
and then you got Travion Williams coming off the bench.
I know they're huge, bro.
Like, I don't know if you saw it, but did you see the free throw discrepancy between their
Yeah.
game against Texas?
Yeah, I say that a lot.
46-12.
Yeah, a lot of people are actually upset about that.
Well, yeah. I mean, how do you go 46-12? I know Texas did not just shoot jumpers all game.
Right. A
So
lot of
there's no
people are.
reason it should be 46-12.
Well, me personally, if I had to take all my biases aside, obviously, I would say y'all the short pants again. But if I had to take both my teams out, being Miami and North Carolina, um, I'm still rolling with Gonzaga, man. I rolled with them when the season first started. I had two teams winning it all from the very beginning. You can scroll and find it on my Twitter. I said I liked Memphis, I like Gonzaga to win it all. It just sucks that they had to play each other. One had to get knocked out, but I still like Gonzaga. Obviously, Gonzaga is the safe pick. It's the safest. You can every year you can say, "Oh, this is the year they finally win it." I still like them because they can win in multiple different ways, and I think this last game against Memphis gave them enough confidence and showed them a different style that I don't even think they knew that they can be as physical to pull that game out. I think they can win it all because they don't have to win by shooting threes.
Nope. I will never take a Gonzaga team. I don't care. I don't care how good they are. They were undefeated last year and then got blown the fuck out against Baylor in the championship.
Yeah, I'm sure you're tired of it, but guess what? We're tired of you in Kentucky too. So,
I don't even hype Kentucky like that. I
man,
like
you love them
Kentucky
boys every
this
year,
year.
bro.
This year, yes.
Every year you like them.
No, this year, yes. I'll give you that. This year, I really liked them. It's funny. Like throughout the year, I was really high on Auburn, and then the
You
second
were
half
high
of
on Auburn.
the second half of the year, I
When
don't know
this,
what had happened.
now you know what
Away,
happened. It started costing you money.
away, they definitely cost me money. I'm glad they're out because they can't cost me no more money. But anyway, that that Auburn team away from home, terrible. They did
Yeah,
not look good. They look like a middle of the pack team. I'm not talking middle of the top 25. I'm talking about middle of the pack, like
middle of the
50 to
whole.
75. Yes, they did not look good away from home in the second half of the season, and it showed.
They did.
It showed because they did not look like they belonged on the same court as Miami last year or yesterday. Even
Hey,
though
hey,
it was only
hey,
a 1 point game at half.
hey. You know why? You know why they? You want to looking at the game. You want to know why they look like they didn't belong on the same court as Miami?
Because they didn't.
Because they did.
Oh boy.
But I mean, yeah, I'm still having a great time watching March Madness. I'm still ready to see every game because yeah, who knows what the way it's going. I don't know who's going to beat who any given week. I mean,
Texas Tech will beat Duke. Mark it.
Is that your hot take?
Texas Tech. If you call it a hot take, I know a lot of people they're high on Texas Tech. Texas Tech plays defense,
That's been their
but
style for
but
years.
if they do lose, it's because they struggle to score the freaking ball too.
Yeah, you're not going to beat Duke if you can't score.
No,
I'm
so
letting you know now. So basically, what you're telling me is they could either beat Duke or they could get blown out by 15, 20 plus.
no, I don't think they would get blown out. But if they lose, it'll be a low scoring game.
Well,
I mean,
this
even
is
if they win, I think it'll be probably a low scoring. But it'll be like if they were to win, it would be more like a mid 50 to like 60 game.
mhm.
But if they were to lose, it's going to be more of like a 60, like a low 60 to high 60 game.
I can see that. I can see that. But right now, I mean, with it all said and done, I'm all peacocks, baby. I'm all peacocks.
There's no
Bring
way.
it home.
If they beat Purdue, I will jump on the peacock wagon or whatever the fuck you want to call it.
The peacock wagon. I like it. Joy, I want it, man. I'm rooting for him. I mean,
We've
I'm
seen
rooting
this
for him as
happen.
long as they're not playing Miami and North
We've
Carolina.
seen this happen so many times, though, where
Of course.
I say so many, but really it's only been 3. This is only the 3rd time a 15 seed has advanced to the.
Yeah, I mean, it's been the third time for a 15 seed, but
Yeah.
every year there's always someone, at least one,
Yeah,
that's
but
not supposed to go this
we
far.
see it a lot of times where they get to the Sweet 16 and then they get embarrassed in the
And they,
Sweet
yep,
16.
which is probably going to be the case this time. But guess what? I'm pay
Because
per
now
viewed
teams get a
up on
whole
the
week. Well, the difference is the team gets like 3-4 days to prepare for that team,
right.
as
Yep.
opposed to a day. So it makes sense, and I think Purdue's just gonna. They're just gonna own. You thought 46-12 was bad in free throws? Wait till you see what happened in that game.
Well, you know what? You're gonna be the first person I call when them Peacocks is taking it all the way past Purdue. Notice I had to catch myself because they ain't taking it past North Carolina once we beat UCLA. But with that being said, I'm gonna basically wrap it up as that. You got any last minute March Madness topics you want to throw?
Uh, what would be your what's your upset? I guess. What would you take as your upset? Like if you had to lock in an upset, what would yours be?
Okay, first, give me 2 seconds because obviously, see, like we said earlier, seeding doesn't necessarily make it an upset. So give me 2 seconds. I will pull up. Okay, so the Thursday games: Arkansas, Gonzaga, Nova, Michigan, Texas Tech, Duke. By the way, Texas Tech is actually a 1 point favorite.
I know.
Arizona, Houston. Ooh, Arizona's only a favorite by 1.5. UCLA, North Carolina. UCLA is the favorite. I can't. I'm assuming I can't choose that.
No.
Uh, Miami, Ohio State. Purdue, St. Peter's, and Kansas, Providence.
While you're thinking about that, I'm gonna ask you one question.
Hey,
Providence.
man, you can't be keep throwing all these questions at me. All right, you let me answer
Providence, and
one.
it just made me think of something.
All right, well let me answer
All
this before we just jump all over the place, man. All right, if I had to put my money
right.
on one upset pick, give me give me Michigan. I think that's the safest one we can go.
Michigan. I
Michigan over Nova.
I always like Nova. Nova is a very well coached. They
They
usually
are.
never have any like superstars,
Nope.
and they're just a really good team.
They right, right.
They're a really good
That's
team.
yeah, but I mean, looking at it, I mean, I'm not sold on Providence. Since you want to talk about Providence, I'm
I
not
was, I
sold
was
on
going to
Providence.
say, are they a good team or are they a lucky team? Because that's been the question with Providence. Because they haven't lost much, but what's crazy is they they did not have a single first team All Big East player.
I know. I seen that. Yeah, they don't have. They're not star studded at all.
No,
Um, the thing with Providence is,
they're clutch.
yeah, but when you say clutch, that could be two different meanings. A lot of times, people are always going to be like, "Man, they're clutch. They're good when the game counts." Well, that can also mean that they've been getting lucky and they're winning games with smoke and mirrors. And looking at it, I mean, the only team they really beat throughout the year is up and down Xavier team. Um, they beat up and down Creighton team. They
Yep.
never beat Villanova this year.
And then they got smoked by Creighton in the Big East tournament.
They got smoked by Creighton in the Big East tournament, and they lost to the same Marquette team that North Carolina handled. They
Yep.
got smoked by them. Actually, they got smoked like almost it was a 32 point game. So I'm not sold on them.
You're not the only one. There's plenty of people that aren't sold on
Yeah,
them.
I'm not so. And I've seen Kansas. Them boys nice. Them boys nice over
I'm
there.
not sold on Kansas. I'm not saying that they're going to lose to Providence, but I'm not sold on Kansas.
So would that be your upset pick of the week if
What
you
prop?
had to? Yeah,
No.
who would be your upset pick?
Oof. Ooh. Zags are going down to Arkansas. That is my upset pick. I have Arkansas beating Zaga and then losing to who would they be playing after?
It'll be Texas Tech if they beat Duke.
Yeah, I think that's what I have. I have Texas Tech going in the Final Four.
No, but now I'm not saying it can't happen. Arkansas plays strong defense. They are what, three deep on guard play. Arkansas
Mm-hmm.
is a very good team. Arkansas is a very good team. Do I see them beating Gonzaga? No, because at the end of the day, I think their weakness plays into Gonzaga's hands and their strength. And Arkansas's bigs are not going to be able to stop them two bigs in Gonzaga.
We'll see. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how refs, because as much as I don't like saying it, refs can dictate the game based on how they want to call fouls.
No, of course.
And depending on if they let the big boys bang down low, then yeah, that goes in favor of Zaga. But if they played a little, well, I don't know. I mean, if they let them bang, then
Gonzaga's
I mean,
whooping that ass.
you think so?
Gonzaga's whooping that ass.
Because I mean, Zaga. I
Let's
mean,
be
Drew.
real. Arkansas
I
don't got
mean,
Jalen Durrell or what's the other one that they had rotating in? He had,
Bainbridge, I think.
it was one brother with an African name. He was nice too,
He
banging
said
down low.
niggas.
Yeah, it was one brother with an African name. Like I ain't gonna be able to pronounce that one, so I ain't even gonna try. But yeah, Arkansas ain't got that. No, no, that's not
That's
even.
my upset. I mean,
Hey, no judgment, but it ain't gonna happen. So yeah. But we'll see, man. That's what March Madness is all about, man. We will see. March Madness is all about upsets. Um, the best team wins the day. That's what
yep.
March is all about. So, with that being said, we'll end it off that. We'll definitely do this again towards the end, if not the end of the tournament, um,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll recap the whole thing because obviously it's so hard to keep up with everything in a whole month span the way March Madness goes. So,
Yep.
as always, thank you for being part of the show.
Always glad being on.
And for all of our listeners, thank you guys for listening. Don't forget to show us some love. Please hit that follow, like, and subscribe button. We are on all social media platforms. That includes YouTube. That means we are at MB8Cast on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. We are also on all your favorite podcasting platforms thanks to Anchor. Anchor has pushed us out there on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, you name it, you can probably find us. So definitely give us a listen. And we'll be right back with you guys for another amazing show, man. Thank you guys. We'll see you next time.
Kingsy go crazy.